find my f of x when dealing with quadratic function. This means the reciprocal of a quadratic equation is f of x equals to a squared minus a squared plus b squared plus x. So the form so the equations are ax minus bx divided by cx minus d divided by c is the vertical asymptote, and a divided by c is the vertical asymptote. Depends on the numerator and the denominator. So here's the question: f of x equals to 1 divided by x squared minus 4. To make it more better, let's work with the denominator, which is our quadratic function. So x squared minus 4 in factor form, that will be x minus 2 and bracket x plus 2. So if we put x minus 2 over 0, that will be positive 2, and if we put x plus 2 over 0, that will be negative 2. So our x value, which is our vertical asymptote, is x is 2 and negative 2. So now let's find our y value for our quadratic function. So we'll let x equals to 0 in the brackets, which will be negative 2 and positive 2. Multiply them together and we get negative 4. So y is our negative 4, and if you plot all of our points, our x points and y, we'll get this graph right here. If you want, you could also use tables to demonstrate your graph, because it makes it much more easier when to keep track of your reciprocal graph asymptote as well. So I also made a table here. You substitute your x value into your y value, which you substitute the x value into the equation of the quadratic equation, and this is the values I got. And here's how the graph looks like for quadratic. So you can see the negative 2 and positive 2, negative 4, and so on. You could see how, like most of the points. So we move on to finding y for the whole equation, the whole reciprocal equation. We know that x equals to 0, and we get 1 over 0 subtract by 4, and our answer is negative 0.5. We use the same x values from last time, and this time we try to substitute our x value into this equation, our whole equation, which is 1 divided by x squared subtract by 4, and these are the values I got. So take a look at the table. Negative 2 and positive 2 is undefined, and according to our graph, that means that there is no crossing point in between negative 2 and positive 2 of the asymptote graph. So they're just like touching towards the number, like aligning. So here's the graph. So like what I mean is the branches outside of x negative 2 and x positive 2 is where the function approaches x0 as x moves away from the asymptote. So on negative 2, you can see how like it aligns. It doesn't go across it. Same thing with positive 2. For the bottom part, you can see how it's like slightly away from the 2 as well, and it has a crossing point in between the quadratic, such as the asymptote and negative positive asymptote as well. So this quadratic function graph, this quadratic reciprocal function graph can be used in engineering and physics, such as like brightness of light or loudness of sound gets weaker as you move away from sources. Knowing these functions can help engineers and scientists to work better on system and solve problems as well. So light source can be more difficult when it comes to like outside world, like especially during like traffic or kind of like when yeah like driving in busy areas. Yeah.